This is Pannier Studio. The Christmas preparations are underway at the Pannier Studio YouTube channel. Yes, keep your eyes peeled for any Christmas updates as we come ever closer to December. And you can actually tune in for a live premiere of the first day of the Christmas Countdown 2023 in Pannier Studio on, well, 1st of December, obviously, at 9:30 UK time. Now we're in Pannier Studio, time for the Pannier Podcast with Pannier and the gang.
Everybody's doing a brand new dance now. Come on, baby, do a little promotion. I know you'll get to like it if you give it a chance now. Come on, baby, do a little promotion. My little baby sister, come do it with me. It's easier than lying your ABC. So come on, do the locomotion. Come on, do the locomotion. Come on, do the locomotion with me.
Hello everyone, hello. Okay, everyone calm down, please. Please, calm down, please. Okay, thank you very much. Thank you. Hello, and welcome to the Pannier Podcast. Yes, I know. Yes, everyone calm down, please, calm yourselves. The third episode of the Pannier Podcast. I am happy to say, we're doing okay copyright wise. Mattel haven't won just yet. Yes, thank you. I'll be here all week. Don't you worry about it. But the only downside is, well, Mr. Richard's Railway, great show that is. Second series has come to an end, but don't worry. We've got a word from its creator, and it will be rebooted for a third season. Don't you worry about it. Speaking of Mr. Richard's Railway, I would like to introduce our four guests who are involved in the show Mr. Richard's Railway. And the man himself, who has made quite the spin-off show to Thomas. And I'll admit, it's awesome. It is absolutely awesome. You should go check it out. Brilliant story, brilliant characters. Even if Henry does nick the faces from another YouTuber. Oh well, he'll get there in time. Ladies and gentlemen, may I please welcome the creator of Mr. Richard's Railway, Pannier.
Hello, everybody.
And also may I introduce people who are involved in the show. Tio, who voices
Hello,
Johnny
everyone.
Sweet.
Thank you.
And Blue Foxy, who has helped with the production of the show.
Hey,
He's
I'm
also
Blue
part of the
Puffball,
team as
and I
well.
play a blue character. Laugh.
Yes, he voiced Gregory once.
And I voiced John.
Actually,
I
I'm
voice
part.
Gregory.
I'm also. I am also part of it. I voice Guy. Yeah.
And of course,
I know,
Pannier
right?
voices his own character.
Yep.
Well, I mean, my name is Blue Popple, and I voice a blue character. Laugh.
Yeah. Okay.
Come on, laugh.
the more, the more, the more you try, Blue Puffball, the less they're going to laugh at the jokes. There you go. You got one laugh. Okay. Anyways. Oh.
Oh, come on, Blue Puffball. Don't be a Fallout.
He died.
Anyways. So yeah, Henry. So if you don't know, Henry had a little after party for season 2. Go check that out, where he tells us about all the production behind the season 2 episodes.
I do.
I must say, I have started to get into the lore of this show.
Oh yeah.
There's a wiki as well, which
Yes, there is.
anyone can go, which we go and update from time to time. So if you want to know more about our characters, then go check that out. So Henry, may I ask, just in general, how did the whole concept of Mr. Richards Railway come to be?
Well, that's a really good question, actually. Well, it's all started a little while ago when I had just gotten some new. My friend Viter had made some new trains models with like the FNAF security breach characters as engines, which blew my mind. Straight up. So, when I found them, I took them, I messed around with them for a bit, and then I started enacting out a pilot, which I have released and reenacted, and it involved basically an Ernest the Engine Cart styled format. But then, when I finally started thinking of something I could do in my spare time, Mr. Richards Railway came into mind. It went through several different names, which I'll discuss at another time, but when I finally got the series in motion, I decided I was going to go with that concept.
Right. So
And the rest is history.
right. So obviously there were like loads of ideas that needed to be like rejigged. Like what was the most difficult part about making about making the show and everything?
I'd say the most difficult part of doing any Mr. Richards Railway episode is filming it, because sometimes I gotta place down a bunch of invisible rails for crashes. I've gotta, find the right trains models I can use and all that. It's sometimes mostly a pain, but sometimes it gets easy. And at this point, I'm used to it now.
Huh.
I guess you could say it's a pain in the track. I'm sorry, I had to.
Okay. Well, like, oh, I gotta think now. Like, I thought, sure, that kind of surprised me a bit, because you'd think that, like, having to do all of the, like, all the stuff, you have to put all the pieces together for the models and everything. That must take quite a bit of time, right?
Indeed, it does.
And obviously it's train. You obviously do it on trains, and it does it. You can't really control it at the best of times, can you? So, oh, so, hmm. What else? So characters like how like so in terms of characters um like how you got the how they got the idea and what they're based off. Is there any really interesting ones you think?
There are some interesting facts about how I create characters. Basically, whenever I need a character or a new one for certain times, like especially during season 2, I basically either get someone who has an OC and include it, or I come up with a completely original character. Of course, there were some concepts that never made it past, but did finalize later, like Pierre being Italian and Max being a British diesel. But other than that, yeah. I think the most difficult part about finding new characters, though, is finding the class of engine they're going to be. Because I honestly just like scrolling through the download station trying to find engines. The thing is, I also don't try to go towards all diesel. Because this is a steam railway, and I like steam engines, so my main
Hmm.
aim all the time is to find any steam engine I can and make it into a character.
Well, yeah. For instance, obviously there's going to be a limit to the basis of the engines and all of that. You're not going to find every single engine there. Um, Pierre. So with engines like Pierre, the foreign engines like Pierre. Wait, is the actual basis from that country, or is it just
Actually, it's not. The funny thing is, Pierre may be French and was going to be Italian. He's actually a Spanish diesel.
huh? Then
Via.
hey,
Oh, I know this guy. He's a good friend of mine.
hmm. So so I've I've got to ask, what is the good what have you got planned for season 3?
Ah, I have many plans for the future. Not just season 3, but the movie that's coming.
Oh
A
yes.
movie?
Steve and the Magic Railroad, my biggest project yet, which is going to be Thomas and the Magic Railroad, but funnier and done right.
Do it right.
Yes. I also have in the
Um,
works a spin-off series coming.
oh my god, another one. It's never but this. Oh my god, another series. Boy, this man's this guy
Yes. It's going to be following Mangle in her past, back before her railway became decrepit because of Bertram. And she's going to be the narrator, basically telling the stories from the past. And yeah, as for season 3, though, it's going to have a mini arc that will take up the first 6 episodes, but the rest of the episodes are all going to be just regular episodes.
Oh, nice. I can't wait. I can't wait. I can't wait. Well, there's I'm looking now. I'm looking now at some of the like. I'm looking now at some of these some of these at some of these episodes on the wiki. Oh, out of all of them, which one would you say was your absolute 100% favorite?
Oh, that is quite a question. I think out of all the episodes, most of them haven't really gone too well, but there is one episode in particular that I think went the way I wanted it, and I love it. And that episode, I think, is the episode Railcat.
My episode. Hey!
It is
Oh,
my
okay.
all-time favorite episode because it feels like a Thomas episode, and it also has a really sweet moral to it. Whenever animals, because animals always deserve a home. They always.
Yeah. I mean, I do. I mean, I mean, Thomas have. I mean, Thomas have dabbled in it before. Remember Donald's Duck? Anyone?
That was the case, but there was never really an episode where one of the engines tried to help out an animal that didn't have a home. So I wanted to try and experiment with that.
Wait. So you're saying Railcat didn't wasn't loosely based off Donald's Duck?
Not at all, really. I just wanted to create a really nice episode with a really sweet moral.
Aw.
So I guess the cat's out of the bag. Or should I say,
Ah.
squish the cat? I'll stay quiet now.
Don't worry. Don't worry, mate. Now with the season, now with the season finale, with the season finale of season 2 withdrawn 30, 34 minutes. Jesus Christ!
I don't think it was the finale. I think the Christmas special is.
That's just probably going to be a mini episode, probably.
Oh, okay then.
Like, also another thing, for obviously you have a server for the Mr. Richards Railway production team, right?
Yes, I do.
I also happen to be in there. Go check it out. Do you think you'll? There's one segment. There's one bit here called character ideas. Do you think you might ever use one of them?
I think I'll probably use them if I ever need an OC character.
Right. Like I love some of these. Like story idea. Like story ideas. I gave you a story idea a few days ago, didn't I?
Yes, you did, and we'll see if that will be used in season 3.
I mean, I would happily, like write up like a script or for the episode if you really wanted me to.
That would be really helpful.
All right then. Well, what do you lot think? All right. All right then. Right. Let's move. Right. Right. Another part of MRR. Like some, like the Brenham Express has helped you quite a bit, and from what I understand, he was the one who wrote most of the gags and jokes.
Oh, indeed, he did.
What do you think was the best? What do you think were some of his best ones?
Oh, I think my two favorites from the season, no doubt, was, "Hey, Pannier, that's a really nice bunker you got there, hmm?"
Oh, hang on, let me play it.
Nation. I'm too. See you again. Showing you guys where you'll be working from now on.
Ooh, that would be lovely. Thanks.
Hey, Pannier, that's a very nice bunker you got there. You going
Like, one thing another thing I have to ask is.
Came up with
Oh,
the
hang on,
Christmas
I'll let
special.
Teal go first.
I wanted to ask was, can I please have permission to tell Pannier the joke that I gave you last night for the Christmas special?
Yes.
Okay. We and Henry were last night were watching some SML. We were watching Junior's get sick. And I came up with a funny joke from Cody. Cleo, what the fuck are you doing here? You punk ass pussy. Get it? Because, you know, that's another thing for a cat.
Yeah. God. Oh, what other ones were they?
I think my all-time favorite, though, is a very familiar one that was used in the episode Railway Cat. Oh my goodness! It's a cat!
It's a cat.
Actually, no, it's a
And then it
dog.
says dog.
Smart idea.
Stop, so I'm going to ask the.
Find the owner.
I was the one who found her.
I see. Cat. Hello, guy.
Hey, no, John. Take a look what I found.
Oh my goodness. It's a cat.
Where did you find it? I found it somewhere on the line. I'm trying to find its owner.
I was the one who found her.
I
Shut up,
see.
Montague.
What are
Don't
you
like
gonna
you.
do to?
This episode's about Pannier.
This is my favorite episode, and that is one of the reasons why.
Did you find
Hang on. I found it somewhere on the line. I'm trying to find its owner.
I was the one who found her.
I see. What are you gonna do to find the owner?
Well, you see, when I go to all my stuff. Oh, what was the other? I just realised I'm wearing Thomas the Engine of the Future face pack.
Ah!
Oh, which episode was that?
Police of the Railway.
Oh, I thought it was. Gregory.
It was sometime during the meeting, I think.
Broken brakes equals derailment.
Yeah, I guess that's understandable. No worries, I'll help you back on the tracks.
Here we go.
So once back, I just realized I have Thomas's Engines of the Future face pack.
Interesting.
I'm just kidding, y'all. It's just a little joke that Police Academy. Future face, and once guys, they found out. They found out about the state. What?
Well, you're all under arrest.
Wait, what? Shit, guys, they found out! They found out about the stash! Oh, God's odds and once go back. I just realized I have Thomas's Engines of the Future face pack.
I can't go back to jail.
I can't go back to prison.
When the fuck did you get drugs, Stevie? I thought you weren't in that gang.
A drug dealer friend.
God damn it! I told you guys to stay away from him. That guy has been around here too often. I remember once when I had to get an AK-47 and fight that bitch off. It was Vietnam all over again.
Cheese.
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 No, they.
My favorite. Cheese.
Cheese.
Wensleydale.
I'm not dabbing. I'm looking at the floor for cheese.
Well, Gromit.
Cheese. I also can't seem
I
to
also
find
can't seem
Gromit.
to find Gromit. My dog is dead.
Here.
No, not Gromit. He was about to solve world math. I'm not talking about the other math.
There's that movie, Thomas Extension of the Future face pack. Ah!
That joke just came out on the fly, really. I just came up with it because I used Thomas's Engines of the Future face pack. Watch Engines of the
Yeah.
Future, by the way. It's a really fun series.
Speaking of the faces, some of the engines. Hang on, might I add? Some of them actually have the Blue Train with Friends faces. And some of them have some of them have the well. No, I'm saying that to avoid copyright.
Yeah, we gotta watch it. Mattel has eyes everywhere, and I mean everywhere.
Look. Some of them have the original show's faces. Some of them have the Engine of the Future faces.
Yes, they do.
And
honestly, I think the process for doing that was I love Well Tank Records' drawing style for like his engine faces. It's super cool and stuff. That's also why I do the thumbnail artwork the way it is. And I draw some of the character faces just because I like coming up with my own character face designs and stuff like that. And I owe that all to Well Tank Records. So go subscribe to him because he's also kind of the reason the series is still in motion.
Also, don't forget to subscribe to Henry Fan.
Yeah, for this awesome series. Also, speaking of the thumbnails, I was thinking of doing my own thumbnail for the next guy-centered episode.
That would be really fun, honestly.
What would it even be called? What would it even be called?
Well, considering the story, it would probably be Blast from the Past.
Or something like that.
Hey, that rhymes.
I was thinking. Well, since my OC came from GWR, and it's a Pannier tank, I was thinking to do like a pun, like a little play on words with that one song by Pet Shop Boys, and I thought of calling it West End Tank.
Ooh, that sounds funny, actually.
You do know who Pet Shop Boys is, right?
Oh, of course.
Yeah, it's supposed to be referencing the song West End Girls. For anyone who doesn't know.
I guess since we're here, I could show a little secret something for season 3.
Who would like to see that?
It's a thumbnail for one of the episodes this next season.
I know, right? Show it to us.
Alright, here it is. The episode Shunter Stride.
Who's excited?
And as you can see here, it's going to be a Runio and Pierre and Ernest episode.
Runio, there's some other episodes here. Let's have a look. And do correct me if you've changed your stance on some of these episodes. LGB.
Oh, that episode. That episode, I think I just scrapped because it was too similar to another episode from another series by someone else.
Oh. Probably a good idea. Hang on. Are you alright if I show the wiki page?
Yeah.
Right then. What else is here? Lonely Loco. Oh my god, it's Ferdinand!
Ah, yes. Ferdinand's cancelled episode. Ah, yes. Ferdinand's cancelled episode.
It's Ferdinand!
I think the reason I scrapped this one was because I decided I wasn't going to use Ferdinand as a character.
Oh yeah, you get sued.
No, I just didn't like him.
Oh, okay. Okay. Oh, I've heard quite a bit about this, but I'm not sure whether you're still doing it. Silver's Fish.
Silver's Fish was going to be a. I just held it back because the season was already running short.
Oh yeah, in the season 2 after party, you told us season 2 was going to be a lot longer.
I did, but writer's block hit my head.
Oh, okay. Well, how many episodes did season 1 have?
Only 7. This season had only two more.
Oh, and are you sticking with 9 episodes for a season, or are you hoping to get more in for season 3?
Nope. From season 3 onwards, you're going to be getting 15 episodes per season.
Oh man! Oh, imagine that! That's gonna be awesome. That's gonna be awesome. What else? Oh, what? I'm trying to think of other things. Who actually? Going back to the topic of characters, which characters would you like to utilize more in season 3? Who do you want? Which characters do you want to have more screen time in season 3?
I think the characters who I want to have more screen time in. I think the characters I really deserve more screen time are the characters I haven't used much. So characters like Viter, Todd, Liam, and E2. All those other guys, etc.
Okay. Oh. What other ones are there here? Grease and oil. is another episode. What are you doing with that one?
Again, I was just spiders block and stuff. It will be in season 3 though. Most of the episodes you see will be in season 3.
Okay.
Except for Miller's Strike, because that actually ended up becoming Chica's chickens.
Oh yeah. Oh, so Miller Strikes was basically reskinned into Chica's chickens.
Yes, it was.
Oh, Stranded.
Oh, Sid. I can't wait to you on season 3.
Okay. The beach.
The beach is literally the most simple episode I've ever done. Because it's just one shot whole episode.
Oh. Great. And last up, Gregory and the new tank engines.
I think Alex was the one who came up with this one. I don't know if I'm gonna use that either.
Oh, okay. Well, I am more than excited to see what you have in store for Mr. Richard's Railway Season 3. I cannot wait for it.
I'm glad to hear it.
Thank you. So, thank you for giving us a little insight into like how you make the show and everything. Just thanks for coming in. Yeah, thanks for coming in general. If you want, you can stick around if you want.
I'm here. Sorry about that.
You can always stick
I
around
might
if
have
you
to
want.
do it now. I might have to do it now because I have to do dinner for my family.
Well then, thank you very much for your introduction.
It was my pleasure, everyone.
Check out season 3 of Mr. Richard Railway. Ladies and gentlemen, Pannier Productions. Well, that was interesting.
Indeed.
We got a little insight into what Henry's gonna do. I don't know about you, but I cannot wait. What do you think, everyone?
I can't wait either.
Right. Right. What do we do now?
What about some YTPs?
Ah, perfect.
Michael Rosen 70 wank. You may think I'm happy.
Right. Here we go.
Oh boy. Oh boy.
The Michael Rosen 70 wank. You may think I'm happy, you may think I'm sad, you may think I'm crazy, you may think I'm my dad. But hang on to your tits and listen right here. I'm going to tell you something that'll burn your snatch. Once my friend Haribo came to school crying. We said, what's the matter? What's the matter? And he said his granddad had sex with my hamster and he just fell over and died.
Hey,
Wait,
yo.
what? What?
Hey, yo.
That is a serious crime.
He was a nice man, Haribo's hamster. He had a shed with tins full of cock. Dave said,
Cock.
I was in my mother. Everyone said, shh.
Cock.
And Dave said, I was only saying. Nice. There's my brother, he's doing my mum.
Wait, what? What? Oh my god.
Nice. Into the snatch. Wonderful. No. I was born on the 7th of May, 1946. I remember very well that awful sex. I was in my mother, curled up tight, though I have to say it was as dark as Abdul. Nothing to do, didn't want to breathe. I was so happy, didn't want to die.
I imagine no.
Then I hear some people give a shout, one push Mrs. Rosen and he'll be chocolate cake. I'm telling you, that was a puzzle to me. I shouted out, how'd you know I'm a member of ISIS, Doctor?
Wait, what?
Hey, yo.
Shouted, good Lord, he can talk.
Hey.
Popped out my head, said, now watch me bomb you. When I was 1, I swam my sister's channel. When I was
Oh my god.
2, I ate my hamster. When I was...
You ate the hamster? Wait, you ate the hamster?
Yes. Yes.
was 3, I started getting cancer. When I was 4, I ate the dog's dip. When I was 5, I was in a band playing blues. When I was 6, I ate my dad's plums. When I was 7, I robbed a bank with ISIS. When I was...
No!
8, I became prime gorilla. When I was 9, I closed all the schools. When I was 10, they made me king of the racists. So...
No!
That's
That's
bad.
not a good title.
That's bad.
That's what I am. That's what I be, with an M, with an I, with a K, with a cock. That's what I am. That's what I be, Mr. Mike, Mr. Michael, Mr. Rosen, Mr. Nice.
Mr. Noise. I mean, he has become Mr. Noise, hasn't he?
Nice.
Oh! Oh, I actually... I've actually been waiting for this. This is from a channel called Heart Cloud Productions. I've been watching her channel recently, and I think it's actually kind of okay. Right, she's gonna review a Bob the Builder episode.
Okay then.
And it is Scoop's Big Job. Oh yeah, and just so you know, it's from Ready Steady Build, so don't be too surprised if the episode's terrible.
It's fine. We've seen worse.
Now, before I start this review, I'm going to tell you all that this is not my first finalization of the script. I posted a preview community post revealing what my review would look like in terms of my mood throughout it all. And I did have recorded my audio before I got started on editing and such. But listening to my prolonged screams really cringed me out when listening to them. It was funny when I shouted in small doses in my previous videos, but I honestly found my first version of my script too mean when looking at it again. So the audio for this video is going to be different from what I had originally, since I really don't want to be viewed as an angry, cringy reviewer who takes what I despise too seriously. I'm still going to rant on this episode, but I'm going to tone down my voice just so I don't sound too overly mean throughout this video. So without further ado, enjoy the video!
Okay. That's
Like button and comment down below on what are your opinions on the voices of the 7 main characters. Next time, I'll be reviewing...
Oh damn, she lost her talk. Oh damn, she lost her talk.
Hello everyone, this is Heart Cloud Productions, and...
oh no, it's a bad episode, isn't it? I can tell in her voice.
I really didn't want to do this review. I am dead serious. It's not because I was forced to do this just to get it out of my system. No. I didn't want to be so negative when it comes to something Bob the Builder related, because I always wanted to shed light and positivity on the series when barely anyone else would do on YouTube. So, if you all can't already tell, this review is going to be so painful to do, because the episode I am going to review is by far the worst Bob the Builder episode that I've ever laid my eyes on watching in the classic era of the series. I'm talking about the episode from the third but mediocre Borefest saga Ready Steady Build, Scoop's Big Job.
No!
Oh my frickin' god!
No!
Where do I even start with this episode? Well, first off, I've teased on reviewing this episode a couple of times in my previous Bob the Builder videos, and let's just say... But, if the episode itself is really boring, tedious, or painfully infuriating, then it becomes a problem. I might do smaller reviews on certain Bob the Builder episodes that I feel like are worth talking about, and maybe some small videos whenever I'm feeling bored. Nah. Get out of my face, you disgrace of an episode! Yeah. I was very subtle about how I thoroughly do not like this episode. Now, you all are probably wondering why I dislike this episode so much. Well, after watching the Thomas and Tugs Man's Bob the Builder Ready Steady Build video...
Do you remember this video?
Oh yes, I do. The one with the creepy lofty face. Oh yes, I do. The one with the creepy lofty face.
Yeah. What the hell is that face?
He talked about Scoop's Big Job in his review, and it wasn't so positive. Didn't see that coming. And I was curious on how he sees...
But Scoop thinks he's the only one who could do the big job. Oh, for God's sake! And then he just has an image of Freddy from FNAF just there at a table with all these beer bottles. And he just looks fed up.
I honestly agree with what everyone says. Scoop's big job is literally
This episode has a really
Scoop's big job is literally the worst episode ever.
bad one, and how it ruins Scoops' character. I watched the episode for myself, and holy god, he was right. I never thought I would feel so much anger while watching an episode before. The episode botched up Scoops' character so badly that I actually feel guilty for shouting at him in my Snowed Under review. But I'm getting ahead of myself. For this review, it'll be about myself ranting on why I do not like this episode and why it exists in the first place, while also being the worst one of the entirety of the Ready Steady Build saga. If you somehow like this episode in some way, then I respect your opinion, since unpopular opinions do exist and I'll understand. And for my past teases of this review, I'm going to remain as calm as possible while I deliver my opinion on this episode. There are still going to be moments where I'm going to be showcasing a little bit of anger, but not to the point where it's going to hurt your eardrums. So, let the suffering begin as I explain why Scoop's big job is hasteful embarrassment in an episode. God, please help me.
Okay.
Let the pain and misery begin!
Okay.
For me, it's never ending.
You know what? This episode doesn't deserve a proper run-through on what is going on, because everything that happens is so straightforward that it honestly hurts. I'm going to summarize this episode in a couple of sentences. Bob and the gang went to go and fix the lighthouse, and Splasher came by to help. While Spud and Scrambler's subplot has no bearing on the plot, Scoop worries to himself that he won't do all of the big jobs. So he flat out becomes bossy and petty towards Splasher, while he causes stupid messes, even to the point of almost injuring Bob, all because he was envious of someone else taking his jobs.
Oh, for crying out loud.
It just ruins his character.
This is the level.
It just ruins his character.
This is the level we're on with Ready Steady Build.
That is basically what all has happened in this episode. It is irritating to believe that this kind of plot exists. This doesn't happen to me all the time, but this episode is one of those episodes where stupidity doesn't make it a fun watch from start to finish.
Like, the whole thing, the whole thing, it's just a really stupid plot. This live stream has more of a plot than the fucking episode does.
It hurts to see how a badly straightforward plot is nothing but a main character being a stupid idiot for 8 minutes straight just says it all. Scoop is such an insufferable idiot in this episode. It really goes to show that this third saga of the series didn't age very well, because we get stories like this where the characters regress their previous mistakes from the past. What I mean by this is that Scoop was such a bossy nuisance to Splasher when he was trying to prove to Bob that he could do all the big jobs by himself. I'm not joking. Scoop acted like he could handle the jobs by himself while also being bossy to the others around him. I can't understand how the life of me, how Scoop's motivation is so lazily put together when he has to retread the same mistake he has made in the past.
Like, let's think about this. How many mistakes has he made like this? Like, let's think about this. How many mistakes has he made like this?
Hang on. Hang on. Do you smell that?
No. What's
Hang
that
on.
smell?
I smell.
No. What's that
hang on.
smell?
It smells like Miller.
Sharon Miller. Sharon Miller.
Well, actually, it wasn't directed by Sharon Miller. Fun fact. But I still sense that. I still sense the free strike formula there. Look. Look. Look.
By himself, while also being bossy to the others around him.
Hits the table.
So lazily put together when he has to reach.
Crashes into the ladder. What's he gonna do next?
Tried the same mistake he has made in the past. Twice! Once in season 3,
and the other in Snowed Under.
Yeah.
Well, at least in Scoops in Charge, at least he had a reason. At least he had a solid reason. It was because he wanted to take some of the weight off Bob's shoulders. And in Snowed Under, he got. And in Snowed Under, his ego got to him, which I know isn't a very good reason, but still.
And in Snowed Under. The difference in what makes those 2 times work in the first place is how Scoops' reasonings for causing his behavior to go out of whack is that they were both different. In the season 3 episode, Scoop just wanted to ease up Bob on completing the job for him despite having no knowledge on what being in charge is all about. In Snowed Under, Scoops' ego got the better of him and it caused a nasty rift between him and his crewmates.
And at least Snowed Under gave him a character arc.
Yeah, like he eventually learned over time.
Yeah, but Scoop's big job, appalling story, horrendously out of character.
It was a pain to get through there, sure, but at the very least, the conflict itself was unique to showcase how the Can-Do crew aren't perfect all the time. While in Scoop's big job, Scoop was so determined to do everything by himself that he was being such a petty brat by not letting Splasher help out. I feel like...
And if you don't know, Splasher, comes back...
He was introduced in Sunflower Valley. He was introduced in Sunflower Valley.
Yeah, that one. He was in that one. And they just wasted him. They wasted him in this episode.
This episode really jumped the shark in terms of screwing up Scoops' character so badly, to the point where it was unbearable to not notice the obvious, that he was repeating the same mistake a 3rd time. I thought Sharon Miller screwing up Rolly's character in Rolly's Rovers was bad enough.
Oh yeah, Rolly's Rovers. You know, the one where Rolly,
Yeah.
Rolly's supposed to be,
Yeah.
working at the football field.
Yeah, but instead he's singing.
Sorry, TL, soccer field.
Yeah, but instead he's singing.
Yeah, like, it managed to get Rolly's character correct and incorrect. Like, yes, he does like making up songs, but he'd never, have that take priority over the job. Because in one of the episodes in Project Build It, they're making a new road, and basically this little bird's trying to figure out where to put the nest, and Rolly tells the bird to move so that they can have space, so the team can have space to build. At least in that episode, Rolly acknowledged the job. In Rolly's Rovers, he didn't even do that.
But someone else that is not Sharon Miller did Scoop so dirty that it's honestly despicable to think about. And it doesn't help that this was a Three Strikes Formula episode.
Yeah, it was actually, yeah.
What was it with back in the early 2000s about the three strike formula?
I don't know, it was everyone's bloody favourite thing to use.
But it
was
doesn't
Hit's
age
favourite
well.
thing to
But it
use,
doesn't
apparently.
age well. Still there? Still there?
Oh yeah, don't worry.
There is also another problem that plagued throughout this episode. The usage of a past newbie character from a previous saga of the show was completely wasted.
Yeah, told you. Another time.
It just felt bad. It just felt bad.
No. Hang on. I feel like. Hang on. Let me just show. Let me just bring up the. Let me just bring up the thingy, the video.
Where the fuck do you think your ass going?
Hang on, this is the I feel like no, this is Sharon Miller when this is Sharon Miller when you this is Sharon Miller with any Thomas character, with any Thomas character's personality.
Hey, we got K rounds, blocks with 30. Run up on me, I'ma do you dirty.
I'ma do you dirty. That's Sharon Miller. That's Sharon Miller with any of the Thomas characters' personalities. I'ma do you dirty. Alright, back to the video.
We haven't seen Splasher since the end of Project Build It, and I feel like he had no purpose in this episode other than being shut down by this idiot of a digger to try and help out with the jobs. If you take Splasher out of the episode, almost nothing wouldn't change. Ugh. Screw this episode hard. You know what, guys? I never experienced this much anger towards an episode within a kids show until now. I was appalled by the idea that this episode really had to butcher Scoops' character even further, to the point where he is not himself, and it's just sad to witness. This is not Scoop. I see Scoop as a reliable and sensible team leader who takes his job seriously, but doesn't mind having fun every now and then. Scoop is not up seriously, but doesn't mind having fun every now and then.
Hang on. Hang on. Theo. Theo. You still there? You still there, mate?
Yep.
30 seconds into movie pass an ass and he gives you this look.
Scoop is not perfect.
What is going on with Rolly's face?
Looks like something we see in the making. Looks like something we see in the making.
Look at Rolly's face. That is the face of I've shit my pants.
And has made stupid decisions in the past. But at least it showcased him learning from those mistakes by experiencing karma back at him, while also developing as a character. I honestly feel sorry for Scoop, for how this episode really didn't give a crap about how he would be portrayed. Scoop deserved better than this. So
Can we get an F in the chat for Scoop right now?
Indeed.
Big F in the chat. F.
in conclusion, Scoop's Big Job is the worst bodybuilder episode I've ever seen. And no other can top it as being the worst of the entire classic era of the show. This episode deserves the lowest rating I would give any piece of media. It deserves a 1 out of 10. I'll never talk about this episode again because talking about it really didn't do it for me. But I had to get it off my chest. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed this rant, and if you did enjoy it, press the like button and comment down below if you dislike this episode as much as I do.
Oh yeah, I bloody hate it.
Or your opinion might be different from mine. For my next bodybuilder review, I shall be heading into the Christmas spirit by reviewing my all-time favorite movie of the series, A Christmas to Remember.
Yay!
Woohoo! And I'm going to try and do something different by live streaming my video on the day it premieres near Christmas time. So stay tuned for that review to come out. This is Heart Club Productions, and I'll see you all later!
Sweet! Ooh. Ooh, I've got an idea.
What's the idea? What's the idea?
How about we take a look into the world of modelling with the unlucky Tugs, Tugs Trains.
Woo! Woo!
Let's start off with Thomas.
So let me just start this by saying possibly the most controversial statement of the Thomas fandom. I don't like Thomas as an E2. I don't like it one bit. I don't know if you noticed, but the E2s are f***ing huge. And Thomas is not. I'm sorry, but Thomas should not be the same height as Gordon. That's just visually wrong on so many levels. I can't deal with it. Audrey may have said that Thomas was an E2 in the iOS book, but I think the illustrations speak otherwise. Thomas was an E2 in his first book, and only in the first edition of that book in the unedited Reginald Payne illustrations. In those, he has the dipped running board, the extended tanks, the LBSER-styled sloped smokebox saddle, the single open cab window, and is sometimes shown to be quite long. Thomas being an E2 was purely a creation of illustrator Reginald Payne, who was a Southern man and used pictures of a Southern E2 for the illustrations, going against Audrey's wishes of him being a J50. We all know Audrey didn't envision Thomas as an E2, and that's clear by the way Thomas is consistently drawn in all the books following. Hell, even in the Dolby revisions of the first book, Audrey had him take away some of the distinct E2 features. He raised the running board, removed the saddle, and gave him an extra cab width. If Audrey claims Thomas is an E2, why did he have Dolby go to the trouble of taking away specifically E2 features? My theory is that Audrey secretly never liked the E2 idea and tried to suppress it. And that's evident later on in Thomas Comes to Breakfast, when he wrote a whole story just to send Thomas away to get the dip and the running board removed, and become even less E2-like. So I wanted to carry that over into how I portrayed Thomas. Thomas is in spirit a small 060 tank engine, similar to the size of a Ginty or something. So when it comes to my models, I like to try to stick to what's available ready to run and weigh my options. Unfortunately, we're pretty limited to acceptable candidates for Thomas when it comes to ready to run 060s. My first idea was to modify a Ginty and extend the tanks. I did a Photoshop of that, but wasn't super happy with the result. Then I tried chopping a J69 using the Finecast kit. Again, wasn't super happy. I finally landed on the E2 being the best option. I had to bite my tongue with that purchase, but I figured it would work for the time until I figured out something better. So I purchased a regular E2 body from Gavin, aka Sparkshot, from his Shapeways shop. If Thomas was going to be an E2, he was going to be outright an E2 with no mods. Yeah, I know, I'm a hypocrite. Going about assembling the thing wasn't too hard. The kit came with all the pieces necessary, barring the handrails and the chassis of course. So the first thing I did was sand the body with fine sandpaper strips. I bought it with an ultra smooth detail finish, which is usually pretty fine from Shapeways as is. But 3D prints are never perfect.
Well, do give me
What
a
is it,
minute.
Pen?
Hang on, I'm just making it a little better.
Once the guy was smooth, I sprayed the body with primer. The primer I used is Aged Gray Ultra Matte Spray by Rust-Oleum. I use this primer for everything. It's perfect. You can find it at any store in the States like Walmart or Home Depot. Once the primer dried, I applied the first coat of blue. The paints I use are actually acrylic matte paints from the big art store chain called Blick. Believe it or not, I actually...
Pardon, what was that?
He didn't mention the United Kingdom either. I know he's from the States. Why didn't he mention the United Kingdom?
Maybe it's only in the US. Maybe he...
brush paint all of my models. I find that I have much more handle on painting crevices with a paintbrush than I do with a spray. If you spray too much in one area, it'll clump and dry with drip marks. You don't...
Which doesn't look very appealing, does when you look at the model, does it? So yeah, I feel like paintbrush is a little better because yeah, with spray paint, if you if you put a little bit too much in one place, it will all get clumped up and it'll start to drip. And when you're looking at that on a model, it doesn't look very good.
No, it looks very bad. Looks bad.
I'm bad. I'm bad.
Don't get that with brush paints. The color I chose for my Northwestern blue
Michael Jackson reference. Because I'm bad. I'm bad. Oh my god. Oh my. Michael Jackson. Remember him?
Oh yeah, I did. Jesus. What a
Yeah.
band.
Shame. Shame. It's obviously didn't take. It's obviously didn't take sex ed when he was younger. The kid in me likes the frosted side, but the grown-up in me likes the kid in me.
Oh god.
Oh yeah, yeah. I'm guessing you know what that was a reference to.
Yeah, I do, dear Jesus. Oh, that's
Wait,
horrible.
do you think he actually did that?
I have no idea.
I hope not.
is called Sapphire. I try to apply coats as thin as possible. Usually it's
Why does this remind me of like RWS livery, Thomas?
I don't know, but I do like the color.
Is it because it's darker?
Maybe.
takes 3 coats or so to make sure the blue is totally even. After that, I then painted all the black parts with a black acrylic. This included the smoke box, running board, and the cab interior. After that came the lining. The lining is 0.30
Smoke board, running box.
5mm red water slide strips.
I'm sorry, I'll stop now, I'm sorry.
No, there was nothing wrong with that. It's just I'm just trying to do something here real quick.
From box transfers. Just stick them in water, let them slide off the paper, and apply to the model with a toothpick. It's easy, but time consuming, especially when it comes to rounded corners. The buffers are sprung Southern-style spares from Bachmann. For a time, you could order bags of sprung buffers from Hatton's in any of the big 4 styles, but
Actually, my Class 08 diesel's got that. The Bachmann Class 08 diesel shunter.
Oh, you're
Mine's
lucky you
got
have that.
sprung buffers.
I wish I had a class.
Actually, I've been messing around with some of my. I've been messing around with some of the model trains today.
since Hatton's and Bachmann's business split last year, I haven't been able to get more of them, so it's a good thing I stockpiled when I did. The couplings are spare chain links also from Bachmann. I didn't have a chassis ready for Thomas, so for the time being I used the chassis from an old regular Hornby Thomas. It worked for the time being, but being an
Looks alright.
old chassis, it was very chunky looking, and I planned on swapping it out with a better one later on.
It looks thick with 3 C's.
It's extra thick.
Damn, boy. Hang on. Let me get a good connection. Damn, boy, he's thick. Thick. Why did Ow, that actually hurts.
Next came his number 1. The number is also a water slide transfer.
What? It's super small, I can't see it. Look at it, it's tiny. Look at that, Tio, look. Look, I can't see it. It's really tiny.
It's so tiny.
Like my dick. Sorry.
It's fine.
It was an LMS-styled one from a waterslide sheet from Hatton's. At this point in time, I also thought it'd be fun to give all my engines BR crests, as the Northwestern was a part of the British Railways network. I soon changed my mind on that and removed them, as the time period for all my models are in preservation era, circa late 60s, early 70s or so. I also later replaced the tiny one with a much bigger one using O-gauge size number transfers from Fox. Once everything paint and decal wise was in place, I gave the model a final coat of matte clear spray to give the model an overall even finish. The brand I use, again, is Rust-Oleum. At last I found a chassis. The E2 body is built to fit on a Bachmann Ginty chassis.
Oh my god, I have a Ginty!
I wish I had one. I might try to buy one.
I'm pretty sure you can pick one up somewhere.
Fortunately, the Ginty is probably the most sought-after model out there, as everyone uses its chassis for custom Mo60s.
Oh yeah, remember the Dark Side of Dale with Thomas, Trainboy's Dark Side of Dale with Thomas, where Thomas was a Ginty?
Fuck, I never should have said Thomas was a Ginty.
That's not accurate to the Railway series, man! I am fucking furious. I'm gonna fucking sue.
Well, don't make a mistake like
Don't you love it when
Arcraft
Trainboy
did.
Yeah. Don't you love it when Trainboy takes the mick out of Railway series purists?
I couldn't find a Ginty, so I ended up
know.
using a Midland 1F I got on a bargain. It has a different motor build to the Ginty, so getting the body to sit flush on it required a little cutting under the smoke box. I added some real coal to the bunker, which is legit real coal. Amazon sells little joke Santa bags of naughty coal, which have real coal in them. I purchased one and literally crushed the coal into small crumbs with a hammer. From just one bag alone, I have an endless supply of real coal for my engines.
Coal doesn't sound like too much of a bad gift after all. Like... Hey Thomas, what do you think Santa's gonna bring us? I don't know, Percy. What are we going to use apart from coal?
We'll use coal.
What else would be useful to us to engines? What would be a good gift? I mean, we can't use money.
What about coal? Or water?
Yeah, that's the only thing that's going to be of use to them.
Well, what about a new coat of paint?
Oh, maybe. Some like little paintings.
The final
Spare parts, maybe? Some new parts?
touch is weathering, which again is from real coal. I dip a dry paintbrush into my coal bin and just paint the coal dust onto the model in crevices or anywhere I think makes sense. And voila, the model is done. Assembled, painted, lined, sprayed, and weathered.
Thomas the Tank Engine loves his cocaine addiction.
And that so ends the first part of the story. And for the longest...
Sorry.
It's fine.
When he approached the station, some children looked sexy. Would you have a seat right over here for me? I am Chris Hansen, Dateline NBC. They've closed off. They've closed our favourite sand pit. Teacher says the sand is coarse and rough and irritating, and it gets everywhere. Will you help us, Thomas? No.
It's every engine for themselves.
But as he passed the playground, a large sign said, "This is a large sign."
Large sign.
Thomas was about to tell the engines about the playground. What the fuck is wrong with Henry's face?
No.
Do you remember Henry's face was like... His eyes were wonky in one of the shots, wasn't it?
It was.
It made him look like a drug addict.
Looked like he smoked pot inside the break room.
Henry, what are you doing? Crook! What the f...
At least I'm not using special coal.
Yeah, but... Hang on, I need to research that. I need to find that video. Henry, what are you doing?
Crack.
What the f...
Well, at least I'm not smoking special coal.
Yeah, but this isn't exactly a good substitute. Where'd you get crack?
Edward?
What?
Yeah, right behind Edward Station. There's a white guy selling it.
Look, doing crack is not the answer to using special coal. You need to find out why you need to use it in the first place. Here, look, there's a number of hypnotherapists I want you to see.
Alright, Thomas.
Good. Hey Henry, I thought I'd check on you. Oh my god!
Topham came and took my baby!
This time, this E2 was my Thomas. However, that all changed when I decided to bring this guy into Photoshop. So, even though I made a full-on E2 Thomas, I wasn't happy with it. The length and overall size just bothered me. So a thought occurred to me one day, what if I just took the E2 and shortened it? I did a Photoshop where I took the E2 body and shortened it to fit on a Bachmann Thomas chassis. The end result wasn't half bad. I posted it to Twitter, where it got a lot of attention, including from Gavin himself. Gavin messaged me saying he was interested in making the baby E2 body and needed measurements from the Bachmann Thomas chassis to make it happen. I sent him what I could, and the man delivered. Not long after, Gavin presented Twitter with a baby E2 body that could happily fit on a Bachmann Thomas chassis. And before someone on Twitter inevitably brings it up, this was all way before the recent stuff with Gavin, by the way. I try not to get involved, and I by no means agree with the sort of things that he may say on his social, but I figured I should at least acknowledge that. So of course I ordered a body as soon as I could, and the level of satisfaction I had when I fitted this thing to a chassis for the first time was indescribable. Finally, after all this time, I had a model of Thomas that I was happy with. Around that same time, Rails of Sheffield's exclusive Terrier model hit stores, and the one that I had pre-ordered arrived. And let me tell you, this thing is the worst model I have ever purchased. It's made by Dapple, whose quality control is...
I've never actually purchased a Dapple model, but maybe I should consider it.
I'm not sure. Like, who uses Dapple? Anyone here uses Dapple?
Well, not me. I use Hornby.
I use Hornby and Bachmann.
Is abysmal for 00 gauge. Trust me, if you want a 00 Terrier, just get a Hornby one. They're so much cheaper and are fantastic runners.
Oh, the Terrier.
Well, I will give some advice about the Hornby Terrier. I think that this happened to my mom. Do not run them a lot. It's because you could risk burning up their motors. I think that's what happened with mine.
Oh.
Runners. When this one arrived, the chassis out of the box had running issues, so I had to take the body off the chassis to mend it, and because of how the stupid thing is designed, I for the life of me could not get the body back onto the chassis. Yeah, I
for the life of me could not find who asked.
know that sounds really silly, but I seriously couldn't. I got so mad.
I'm sorry. I don't know what's
Maybe that's
wrong
why
with
it's
me
in its
today.
name, Unlucky Tug.
A lucky tug, eh?
Yes, thank you, man. I'm here all this week. Especially more since I'm actually
With
going to be
this,
going
I
on
wrote an
Thanksgiving break
angry
soon.
Twitter rant about it. However, it got me thinking.
Oh, sweet.
That means I'll be available more often. I just have to finish 2 days of school this week.
Awesome.
I now had a brand new 060 chassis ripe for the taking, so curiosity bit me and I tried the Thomas body on it. And shockingly, I thought it looked beautiful. It looked better than the
look
Thomas
at it.
chassis. The smaller, more spaced out wheels fit the aesthetic of the model much better in my opinion.
I like working out here. Wait, what? I like helping out here. By the invitation of Sir Topham Hatt, of course.
So I decided to just roll with it. I kept my Bachmann Thomas intact with its chassis, which I'm glad I did because I later modded that into a
5, 6, 7, 8.
Who do we appreciate? Counting your numbers, Gordon. That's a good engine.
I'm counting how many seconds late you are. What does that sign say?
Sodor Railway. Really reliable and right on time. We are sorry about some delays. We are trying to make this a better railway. Signed by Sir Topham Hatt.
But you weren't on time, little Thomas.
And you're being a bossy boiler. Now, if you excuse me, I'm picking up Mr. Conductor. He's looking after us while Sir Topham Hatt takes a much-needed holiday.
Oh, I think we can take better care of ourselves.
Get out of my way! I'm in a... Wait.
I have unfinished business here, and I want to finish it fast.
Okay. I have unfinished business here, and I want to finish it fast!
The diesel town is back.
Actually, wait, that's not the right line.
Is it? Is it not? I thought it was.
The original line would have been basically like off the script. Would have been, "Who was that?"
Oh, wait, that was from like that was from another cut of the film.
That was from the original cut. Because originally,
Oh, directed.
this would be Diesel 10's first time on Sodor.
Oh. Then why'd they change it?
No idea. Assuming because they got rid of Boomer, I guess.
Boomer. Lol.
That
Well,
is Diesel 10. He's known for devious deeds and brutal strength.
Maybe we do need a conductor here after all. On time.
We are literally the best voice actors.
Let's not get ahead of ourselves.
to a prop accurate Thomas. We'll probably talk about that another day. The build process for this model was the same as the Big E2. Primer, several coats of blue, black, red lining from Fox, big ol' number 1, and real coal in the bunker. This is, in my opinion, the perfect Thomas. It's short and the right height for how Thomas is presented in the books and the show, while maintaining the signature right height for how Thomas is presented in the books and the show.
I love Thomas's little confused face. Like, so I just love his little confused face. Like, narrator, what you've been up to? Oh, well, I am newly single. Oh, you didn't mean no, I didn't. Narrator, are you taking your clothes off or putting them back on? And how is that any of your business?
You guys do know this is being filmed, right?
Oh.
Wait, you were filming us?
and the show,
What
while
though the
maintaining
camera was
signature
on?
E2 features he's known for, namely the extended side tanks and the dipped front running board. And here's the best part about this new Thomas. One of the big selling features of the rails of Sheffield Terriers are their lit up cabs. So since I used the Terrier chassis for this,
Oh, that's awesome.
Thomas's cab lights up.
Really? That's awesome.
Pretty damn cool. And that, my friends, is the story of how I came to and built my Thomas. It involved two different E2 bodies, a Bachmann Thomas, a Midland 1F, and a stupid, god-awful, terribly
Dapple, you need to get your
Terrier
game
to make
together.
it happen. But god damn it, it was worth it. Thomas is one of my favorite models in the whole collection. Not just because of looks, but because of the whole never-ending string of events that led to its ultimate form. I'll be holding on to this little blue guy for the rest of my days. And if any of you are interested in making one for yourself, I have provided Gavin's email in the description for you to contact him. Hope you enjoyed this installment of Doug's Trains, and I'll see you all in the next one.
There we go, our favorite little blue engine. Not Thomas, though. It's Edward.
Hang on. Oh, okay. Railway series.
Once upon a time, there was a little engine called Edward. He lived in a shed with 5 other engines. They were all bigger than Edward and boasted about it. The driver won't choose you again, they said. He wants big, strong engines like us. Edward had not been out for a long time. He began to feel sad. Just then, the driver and fireman came along to start work. The driver looked at Edward. "Why are you sad?" he asked. "Would you like to come out today?" "Yes, please," said Edward.
This makes me wonder, will another Tug ever do
Come out
remakes?
today? I don't know.
I hope he does.
Would you like to come out today? Oh yes, please,
Oh, yes,
said
please.
Edward. Everyone! Would you like to come out today? Oh yes, please, said Edward. Everyone, I'm gay! I'm sorry.
It's fine.
So the fireman lit the fire.
So the fireman lit the fire. So the so the fireman set the firebox on fire. I'm sorry. His firebox was on fire. You don't say. The more you know.
Lot of steam. Then the driver pulled the lever and Edward puffed away. He whistled. "Look at me now." The others were very cross, being left behind.
Are you sure about that?
Edward is the one that started it all, both in the series in general and in my collection. Edward is my favorite character, and
Oh my god, mine too!
Me as well.
back in 2019, I really wanted to make a model depicting him
Wait,
in
really?
a realistic form. Since I was brand new to modeling, I didn't want to really use a kit, and I wanted to stick to whatever was available ready to run for him. So I saw it as a fun challenge. What was the closest model on the market that looked like Edward as depicted in the Railway series illustration?
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know, TL.
I know.
What is the closest thing? What is the closest thing in model form to Edward in the Railway series? Here, actually, I'll give you a bit of thinking. I'll give you a bit of thinking time. Right. And for the first time on this episode of Pannier Studio, here's the countdown clock. So, Tia, what did you think of?
It's that one green Hornby tender engine.
Green Hornby one. Which one do you mean?
That one tender engine. It has the 4 driving wheels, but except the tender has lots of wheels on it, axles.
Oh,
you showed that
you mean
one.
This one? Yeah.
Yes, that one. That one looks nearly accurate. I mean, look at the wheelbase.
The T9, but then again, look, it's got 4 wheels on the tender. Edwards.
Well, there is always the option you could replace the tender.
Rose and double O gauge.
You know, I'm thinking you've got the 2P, but that's an outside cylinder one. You know what I'm thinking?
What is that?
I have a D16. I have a D16 model. Maybe he uses that.
But every single one of them has something about them that is just a little too different from Edward for me. The wrong cab, the wrong firebox, outside valve gear, etc. The wrong
Oh yeah, T9. T9 has the wrong cab.
The wrong firebox, outside valve gear, etc. I landed on the Hornby D16, and it's not perfect either, but I had a...
Hey! Awesome.
Oh well, Mike, congratulations,
a lot of
man,
unique
you won.
Traits that
Congrats.
most others didn't. Specifically the cab style, the correct firebox, and the large amount of space between footplate and boiler. The main inconsistencies of the D16 were the short funnel, wrong tender, and it has this very classy looking slope in the footplate above the drivers that obviously is not an Edward trait. But I decided to go with it anyways and make do. There was a D16 on Rails of Sheffield on bargain at the time.
Wait. Railway Series Edward doesn't have that?
No, because he's a K2. K2s didn't have that feature.
Oh yeah. My mind just went blank there. Sorry about that.
It's fine.
Time, so I jumped on it. And in December, it finally arrived. And work on Edward commenced. I did a Photoshop of the D16 as Edward sometime prior, and this is what I used as reference when putting together my model. So the first major thing that had to be taken care of was
the tender. It doesn't look right.
The tender. The D16's tender wasn't going to fly for Edward, so I had to make do with another one. I had a spare old Bachmann N-Class that I decided to use the tender from. Without the tender, it just became an engine I'd use for spare parts, of which I would eventually rip the pony truck off of for James. Looks-wise,
He met the same fate as Godred.
Rest in peace, Godred.
Can we get an F in the private chat for Tug's N class? Big F, mate.
Wait, who's this guy in the comments? Wait, what the fuck?
Yeah,
Pannier, do you
I'm
know-
not having. Yeah,
Who's
I'm
this
not
guy
having
saying?
that. Yeah,
Like, what the fuck?
yeah, I'm not having that.
What? I
Whereas
did...
the N-Class tender fit the
What?
part really well in my opinion, but it posed a problem. The D16's tender had power pickups. Power pickups are little pieces of metal that touch the tender wheels, so more wheels on the engine gain electricity from the rails. The wheels aren't powered, but more wheels with pickups ensures smoother running, so the engine doesn't stick on points or gaps between
Oh, Sam's Trains! You remember this guy?
rails.
Yeah, but I actually want to confirm something about that Bachmann Edward. My Bachmann Edward does not
Yeah.
actually suffer those problems. It runs on switches perfectly, mine.
Pickups ensures smoother running, so the engine doesn't stick on points or gaps between rails.
Oh, okay.
These models are set up so that if you remove the pickups extension from the main motor, the motor won't work. So I couldn't just snip the wire to the pickups. I had to actually keep it intact. There is probably a way to severe the wire and solder it so it will still work, but remember, this was my first model and I didn't really know how to do any of that. So I didn't have a choice and had to keep the pickups intact somehow. So I took apart the D16 tender and pulled up the pickups from it, and then just kind of stuck what I could inside the N-Class tender. There's this little block where all the pickups come together that unfortunately couldn't fit inside the tender, so I had to hide it in the cab. It's not very pretty, and you can see it very clearly from certain angles, but some cleverly positioned people figures can hide it fairly well. So
I don't own any double oak figures at the moment.
So the tender wheels do not gain power anymore, but it's okay. Luckily, the front drivers are large and spaced out enough that it doesn't see issues running over points. Now, modern Hornby tenders are held to the engine with a drawbar underneath that screws in, while Bachmann's older tenders just sort of couple up with a hook and loop. Obviously, these two are incompatible, being from different companies, so I had to fashion a coupling. I just used a paper clip and bent a loop that I superglued under the tender. I made it just big enough that it can couple and uncouple it easily from the drawbar without it coming loose when in motion. It's over a year later and it's still in place, holding true. So the tender was the hard part. Now for the body modifications and the overall general construction. Then came the paint, and this was the exact same approach I used for Thomas. I sprayed it with Rust-Oleum aged gray primer and then several coats of sapphire blue. And once that was done, I painted the smoke box, cab roof, and footplate black, and the running board and buffer beams red. Lining was, again, water slide strips from Fox. Like Thomas, I originally fitted Edward with a BR crest on his cab sides, but would later remove them. I picked out his handrails and smoke box features with a silver Sharpie, filled his tender with real coal, threw a 2 on his sides, weathered him with coal dust, gave him a coat of matte clear, and boom! Edward was basically done. One of the last things I had to figure out with him was his funnel. The D16s had short, stumpy funnels. Obviously, this wouldn't fly, so I had to try some alternatives. I had recently bought a Hornby Peckett to use the chassis for Percy, my next model, so the body ended up just being used for spare parts. I used the Peckett funnel on Edward, and for a while, this was his funnel. I liked the copper cap on it, and I kind of liked how old-timey it was, and I thought it suited Edward. But I wasn't super happy with it, as I thought it was just a little too thin for him. I did some online searching and found white metal cast funnels from a shop called Phoenix Precision. I went with the Great Western Hall one, and it perfectly fit the bill. Sanded.
I think you mean a minor one. Actually.
I went with the Great Western Hall one.
Oh, Manor.
And it perfectly fit the bill. Sanded it, painted it black, and voila! A perfect funnel for this Edward.
Look at him, it's beautiful. beautiful it looks. I wish I could make models like that.
I know a lot of people don't like the D16 for Edward, and if I'm being perfectly honest with myself, I don't either. If I were to use anything in real life for Edward, my first choice would be the D36. My second choice would be the D40. Neither are available in model form, unfortunately, so the D16 was D40. Neither are available in model form.
There is an Asian D40 kit, but it looks like crap.
Unfortunately, so the D16 was the best option in my opinion. I will definitely redo Edward someday to make it a bit more accurate. And depending on what people say of the build quality of the Southeastern D-Class that's coming out soon.
Oh yeah, this one looks nice.
Although it probably cost a lot
I
of
may
money.
try my hand at modding that, but we'll see. It is made by Dapple after all.
Oh, okay. Don't get your hopes up. It's made by Dapple.
And I've never been happy with the 00 purchase from them.
Garbage. Worst model I've purchased.
For the time being though, I'm really content with my D16 Edward. Seeing through a model's construction from start to finish is so satisfying, especially on your first one ever. I've said it before and I'll say it again. Despite being very inaccurate, this Edward is my favorite model in the collection, just because it was my first, and because, well, it's Edward.
It's Edward.
And he's just the best.
Yeah.
Thank you all for tuning
Edward
into
is
this
the best.
installment of Tugs Trains.
Edward is the
I'll
best
see
engine.
y'all in the next one. Bye!
Edward is the best engine. Get that hashtag trending. I'm not happy till it is.
Have you ever bought any models from Dapple? No.
I
yeah,
haven't. Personally, I haven't.
Well, I guess because you're an unlucky Tux, I guess you saved yourself from biting a bullet.
Don't get me wrong. I've looked at I've watched Sam's trains, and some of the Dapple ones were alright, but most of them have been a bit off.
Alright, hey Pannier, I'm gonna have to head off. It's getting late for me.
Oh. Well, I was gonna head off actually. But thanks for being with me.
No problem.
On this episode of the Pannier podcast. And thanks to all of you who have joined me as well. This was a fun episode, wasn't it?
It was. Definitely was. And thank you again for inviting me here.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much for watching. Take care, and we'll see you next. And
Bye.
we'll see you next time. Good night.
Bye.